Hey, hello everyone. Happy to be live after too many days without me voicing myself. So I had to cancel the one at 1 p.m. Right now it's 6 p.m. So I don't know if in LinkedIn that will be happening, but obviously in YouTube it's happening right now. I'm just checking in if there are any sounds. Yes, there is a sound in YouTube. So welcome the YouTube audience. And I'm going to check right now if I am live on LinkedIn. And yes, I am not having my uh, perfect sound and voice. But anyway, I'm going to do it because I am doing live. So I think it will not be in LinkedIn. I was having some tech issues probably, but it's okay. I will post a link later on LinkedIn, or I let me know. I'm going to post it now. So bear with me while I am sharing. Oops, not live on LinkedIn, but you can watch me here in YouTube for the next 90 minutes. Welcome also to the replay team. So voila. So whether you are live or replay team, thank you so much. It has been 11 days. 11 days. I was quite under the weather, and now I am over the weather. And it's hot, it's sunny. So am I live in YouTube? Yes. Amazing. So as always, feel free to comment on LinkedIn or YouTube. And no matter what, I'm here, I'm showing, even late. And I'm continuing my challenge. I feel a bit better. So I am blessed to wrap up 11 days in 90 minutes. So I have a session for 90 minutes. And I'm going to share you the menu because it's really tasty. It's really tasty menu. Not only with through Go Brunch. Go Brunch has a tasty menu too. But I have an amazing tasty menu to present to you. And it's like 11 letters. Jeevous, and then AIME, and then the exclamation point. And here I am going to update it. Probably will be like that. So day 4, going to talk about jeu, which is games. Do not confund with the personal pronouns je, tu, il, I, you, he, she, il, well. Jeux, games. So it faites vos jeux and je suis là. There are a little nuance, but je and je are sounding different. Just to let you know. J-E-U-X, the singular J-E-U, the plural J-E-U-X, and some words has S in the plural, like émotion, voyage, océan, univers, anniversaire, île, menu, énergie, signe. But some has X at the end. Jeux, games are a good example. There are also les yeux, the eyes, or the classic OUX, bijou, caillou, genou, hibou, hibou. And so the day 5 is emotion, emotion. And although it's okay if you don't take the accent, it's especially in capital, you know, sometimes you can also write the word in capital without the accent, like that. But if you it's in minuscule, I would advise to add the accent. And I know that in English keyboard QWERTY there is no accent, so I will pardon you. I will pardon you French. I love to expression that way. If you are not using the accent, I with my keyboard can also make the accent in big caps. Emotion, emotions. The day 6 of April will be about voyage, which is travels. And day 7, oceans, which is océan. Day 8, universe, univers. Day, day S, because I was, voilà, it's better like that, you know. Surprise, that's really amazing, because it's really a surprise, by the way. And then, for S, that's for the day number 9. And then day number 10, A, anniversaire. Because today is a special day. It's the birthday of Loes. 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 And gelukkig nieuwjaar. That's in Dutch. Joyeux anniversaire. That's in French. Happy birthday. That's in English. Tanti auguri. That's in Italian. Parabéns. I think that's in Portuguese. Maybe it's that, but I don't know. Portuguese is not my native language or my language of that I know. And then also Feliz Cumpleaños, that's in Spanish. So today, 14th of April, is the birthday of Luz, and there is an event in a bit less than 2 hours. Then il, which is island. So, anniversaire, birthday, il, island. And I'm going more about to the details also about something interesting. Island in singular, islands in plural. So, il, I-L-E in singular, I-L-E-S in plural. And you notice the circumflex accent, I'm going to talk to that more after that. Then menu is the word for the day 12. Just going to check if I am well audible on YouTube. La la la. Yes. So ILES, island, île. And then day number 12, menu, which is menu, which is really tasty menu. And then the E, energy. And so the way that you use the accent is to really make the distinction between the E, like océan, émotion, énergie. Because at some point the VER, with the presence of the R, it's like anniversaire. But there is no need for an accent. But sometimes you will need the accent to make things, because else, if there is no accent, it will be énergie. And ERA, energy. So that's really interesting about the pronunciation in French with the accent. Then the last day, which is today, as I was not having enough words in my sentences, then I put an exclamation point because if you are aware, G no J-E, it's je. V-O-U-S is vous. A-I-M-E, it's M. And the sentence is je vous aime, I love you. Vous could be polite or plural, by the way. And I love the acronyms, and I love also the poems that contains words or sentences when you can read in the vertical GE, VOUS, AIE, AIME. And as I was 11 letters and I was having 10, I had to add an exclamation point to make it good. And also I will be on occasion for the 14th day to talk about the signs because there are ways to describe signs in English as there are ways to describe signs in French. And I'm going to talk about that. So we are on the 10th minute. There are still 80 minutes. 80 minutes for 14, no, for 11 days. That's a lot. I know. That's probably 7 minutes per word. So I was not preparing the writing about that, and I will probably write that later on if I remember. So there are many games, by the way, jeux, and we need to play more, by the way. We need, it's really good for humanity that we tap into our childhood. We can stay adult, we can stay mature, but why not to have joy and to joyfully play with games? So, jeux. And jeux, there are multiple games, by the way. Jeux vidéo, video games. Jeux de société, board games. Jeux de rôle, role play games. Jeux interdits. Jeux interdits for forbidden game. Les Jeux olympiques, Olympic Games. Les jeux télévisés, Television Games. Les jeux radio, Radio Games. So many different games. If you find other games, feel free to comment also. This day, of course, it will be only on YouTube, sadly, because I think I'm not live on LinkedIn. I posted the link with my share, but I don't know if there will be a live. So, my friends, really interesting. So that was a quick introduction because I'm going to develop more some other words. Je. Notice also that normally, like jeux télévisés, you don't know if I'm talking about one or many. But jeux interdits, you know that there is only one. J-E-U. Jeux interdits, then you know that it's many because there is the Z. When there is a Z, it means that there is a letter at the end, which could be an X or a Z. Like, for instance, the eggs, like many eggs, by the way, multiple eggs, les œufs. I will accept if you say les œufs, but or not. But I really it's like the nose in the middle of the face. It's so sometimes I can accept it. Normally you say les œufs because when there is a consonant and a vocal or an H, like les hôtels, the hostels, then you add the Z, which is the link. So les Jeux interdits, les Jeux olympiques, les Jeux importants. the important games. So z, when there is a consonant and the next word contains at the beginning the letter, the vocal or the H. There are some exceptions, as always, most of the case, it's the rule. So that's it for the fourth day about je. Fifth day, émotion. I think I was going already. I was talking about that. Probably not in that April month, but I was talking about emotions like anger, sadness, fear, joy, disgust. That's the main one. I think in the Inside Out number 2 there are more, but I'm going to stick with these five. I think. So anger, colère, and there are many synonyms, by the way, in French. Colère, uh, to be irritated, énervé. Then there is also joie, joy. That's for the emotion number 2. Sadness, tristesse, triste. That's for the emotion number 3. Emotion number 4, peur, which is fear, afraid. I am afraid, j'ai peur, effrayé. So peur. And then emotion number 5, disgust, dégoût, écœuré. Écœuré, by the way, is an interesting word because it's like ex cœur, like out of the heart, because cœur is heart in English, cœur, like core, C-O-R-E in English, comes from the cœur, C-O-E-U-R, and no, there are two spellings. Either you can write the O and the E together, ligature letter, or either you can write it separately. But sometimes when you are writing separately, don't be surprised if there is a sign from the spell checker in French that when you right click will give you the O and the E attached. But both are correct. So, écœuré, dégoûté, dégoût. That's for disgust. And it's like disgust, like out of the taste. So that's for the emotions, émotion. Then the day number 6, V, voyage, travels. That's very interesting. So my friends, if you are watching in LinkedIn or in YouTube, let me know what are your favorite travels? Where are you going for your holidays this week or this year or next year, or what are your intentions for traveling if you can travel? Imagine I have a magic wand and I can teleport you anywhere. Where do you want to travel? Où voulez-vous voyager? So voyage. And I will not sing the song, the favorite song of on French from Desireless. Voyage. So it's really interesting also because of the conjugation of the verb voyager, G-E-R. So normally any word finishing by ER is conjugating the same, except the verb aller, A-L-L-E-R, which is a regular verb. But voyager, there are some exceptions, but it's for the pronunciation. For instance, you know that G-A, it's pronouncing in French ga. G-O, it's pronouncing go. And G-U, it's also pronouncing by default g. So ga, go, g. G. But G-E and G-I, it's J. Like gîte or voyage, GE. But because of the conjugation, je voyage, tu voyages, il voyage, nous voyageons, vous voyagez, il voyage, then nous voyageons. If you write it with G-O-N-S, it will be pronounced nous voyagons. But here, as the pronunciation is nous voyageons, you have to add an E between the G and the O. So it's not G-O-N-S, it's G-E-O-N-S. Just to give you some value, by the way. So I wish it's helpful for you. Voyage. What are you going to travel today, my friends? Voyage. So let me tell you, and I'm going to quote about the countries in French, by the way. So in the 80s, I don't know if I was traveling. I don't know. I was quite young. But in the 90s, I was traveling at some places. J'ai voyagé à certains endroits. And I went to ex-Yugoslavia, which is an old country when it was united. Now this country is split, séparé, by other countries like Croatia, Serbia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Macedonia, Kosovo. And in French, like Serbie, Croatie, Bosnie-Herzegovine, Macedon, and Kosovo. Then I went sometimes with my dad and his friend in Germany in the 90s. Allemagne. A-L-L-E-M-A-G-N-E. Allemagne. So that's very interesting because alle, in fact, it's all. Like it's, by the way, English is the bridge between Latin and Germanic, and there are some words in English that comes from German language, Germanic language. So alle means all, and Manje means, I think it means big, or someone who has big influence. An example, Charlemagne, Carlomagnus, so magnificent. So Magne, Allemagne, which is Germany in English. And then I was, it was all, I think. I was, I remember in 93 I was in South France. So France has the same spelling in English and in French, but France in English is pronounced France. So France, France. You pronounce the R. France. France, France. That's good to know. And I was in Provence, à Vaison-la-Romaine, Marseille, Châteauneuf-du-Pape, Arles, le Mont Ventoux de Ventoux Mountain, Ventaux. I know that it's tricky in French. Some words doesn't pronounce the end of the letter, like Tous, Ventoux. And then I was not traveling until 2008. So from 2008 till 2019, I was traveling to a lot of places, mainly in Italy, sometimes in Spain, and once in Portugal, and twice in France. It was amazing, amazing, amazing during these 11 years. Italy, which is Italy, Ly in English, Lie in French, Italy. And there are multiple cities in Italy that are translating to French. So Rome, Florence, Bologne, Naples, Venise, Milan, and probably others. But of course, mainly they are Italian, like Monopoly, Napoli, that's in Italian. I think in English it's Naples, Milan, uh, Florence, um, and Bologna, like the Bolognese. By the way, little anecdote, cultural anecdote, that spaghetti bolognese. I don't know how you pronounce it in English, but in French, spaghetti bolognese. In Bologna, it's not bolognese spaghetti, it's spaghetti al ragu, R-A-G-U, with an accent, by the way, ragu. So that's for the cultural aspect. So I went probably 11, 12 times in Italy in total from 2008 until now. And then I went to Spain, España. Hola! Hola, ¿qué tal? Muy bien. Hi, Henry. Amazing. I have a great day. Nice also to hear from you again. Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. I am not in LinkedIn this time because I was like canceling and I was not able to reschedule on LinkedIn. But I posted a link on LinkedIn and I'm really glad that you are joining on YouTube. So I was talking about these different topics. So, jeu, émotion, voyage, océan, univers, surprise, anniversaire, île, menu, énergie, and signe. And I was talking already about jeu and émotion. And now I'm going to talk about voyage. And I was talking about Italy, which is Italy in French. And I am going now to talk about Spain, which is Espagne. E-S-P-A-G-N-E. Like Espanol in Spanish. Like E-S-P-A-N-O-L. And the N with the tilde at the end. Because Espanol, without the tilde, it will be Espanol. But it's España with the tilde on top of the end, or on the end, sorry. So Espagne, and also probably, yeah, probably words in French. I don't know. Yeah, like Valence, Valencia, or Valence in English, I think. Madrid, or Madrid in French. There was also, I was also, so I was visiting Madrid. I was visiting also Barcelona, Barcelona. Last year, 2 years ago, last year, and this year also, because I'm going to Sitges, by the way, in my new language conference in 7 weeks. And I'm going to travel only once this year, I think. Maybe more, but until now I only envision to travel once this year abroad, and it will be to see my new language community in Sitges. So that I'm going to be traveling to Barcelona. There will also, in fact, Spain is really interesting because there is also the País Basque, the Pays Basque. So Pays, P-A-Y-S. Pays is like country in English. Pays Basque, Basque country. And I was visiting also Bilbao, San Sebastian, and Santander for the plane, by the way, and Getxo, and Portugalete. But by the way, San Sebastian I'm not sure, but I think it's the Spanish name. For the Basque name, it's Donostia. Just to let you know. Aside that, I was also visiting Portugal, which is in French Portugal, 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 same spelling, but not the same pronunciation. And I was visiting Lisbon, which is in English Lisbon, and in French you just add the N-E, Lisbonne, Lisbon, and it's really interesting. I was also visiting Faro, was visiting Tavira, and some other places like Sintra, Cascais, Boca de Inferno, some surroundings of Lisbon. I was not visiting Porto, by the way, but with the anecdote, I was buying my birthday bottle of Porto. It was in 2012. I was buying my 76th edition of Porto bottle for my birthday that I was opening 4 years later in 16, by the way, when I was 40. And it was really interesting anecdote. Aside that, I was visiting 2 times France, Paris. And last year, exceptionally, I was taking a trip to Nîmes, Nimes, Nîmes. And Paris in English is Paris in French. So that's for voyage. We are already on the 30th minute, I think. Yeah, 30th minute. And I have still 60 minutes to talk about the 8 other topics. So, now I'm going to talk about ocean. And of course, I am not able to write because I prefer to focus on you, on my audience, on my life. But I'm going to voice it. So, oceans. There are many oceans in the world. So, I think in English, Atlantic, Pacific, Australian, Austral, I think. So, I don't know all them by heart. So I'm going to check what are the main oceans in this world and what are their translation in French, because I know some of them, but I'm not sure to know them all. So I'm really happy to use. Yeah, so I'm good because probably I was missing some of them. So Pacific Ocean, Océan Pacifique, Atlantic Ocean, Océan Atlantique, Indian Ocean, Océan Indien, Arctic Ocean, Océan Arctique, and Southern Ocean, Océan Austral. So that's it in a nutshell. In a nutshell, nut plus shell. Amazing. So that was the ocean, which is océan. And notice the accent, because without the accent it would be océan. But it's océan. So I am going back to my favorite letters. And I'm going to talk about universe, which is univers. Welcome to my universe. Bienvenue dans mon univers. And as I noticed you some minutes ago, you can say mon univers, but it's better to have the link, mon univers, because there is an N and there is a U. So, univers, I can talk about galaxies, galaxy. I can talk about la Voie lactée, the Milky Way. I can talk about the planets, les planètes, the suns, les soleils. You can say also les astres. And also le soleil, le système solaire, the solar system. There in the solar system there is the sun, le soleil, Mercure, Mercury, Venus, Vénus, the Earth, la Terre, Mars, Mars, Jupiter, Jupiter, Saturn, Saturn, Uranus, Uranus, Neptune, Neptune, and Pluto, Pluto. And of course, for the recent vibes, Pluto is not anymore a planet, but in my heart, Pluto is still a planet, no matter what, you know. So, Soleil, Mercure, Vénus, Terre, Mars, Jupiter, Saturne, Uranus, Neptune, Pluton. And then there are also les trous noirs, the black holes, and les étoiles géantes, giant stars, and the dwarf stars, les étoiles naines. I don't know if it's dwarf in English, but it's literally naine, les étoiles naines. Then there were also the color, like yellow is jaune, rouge is red. What to say more about that? Revolution. That's not only the revolution. Oh, hi, revolution! No, that's also when the planets or the stars are revolving around other elements. And then there is also the satellites, which are humans, by the way. But les lunes sont les satellites des planètes. The moons are the satellites of the planets. So with the Earth, we have the moon, la lune. And Mars, there is Phobos and Deimos. Jupiter, Io, Europe, and probably other moons, but I'm not sure. And I don't know the rest of the moons, by the way. So, les lunes. And then we can say that planet is welcoming life or desert, like habitable or inhabitable. And that's really an interesting anecdote because in English, inhabitant is when you are living. Like United States has 300 plus million inhabitants. But in French, inhabitant means people that are not living. Like cette planète est inhabitante. So cette planète habite. Habitant is when you are people, possible to live in the planet. So univers. And then, surprise, I was not knowing what to put in there, by the way. So I put a surprise. And why not to give you a gift, un cadeau. And in each gift, there might be emballage, which is the wrapping, to let someone discover the gift. It's a surprise, so you have to hide the content of the gift in the wrapping, l'emballage. Then there is le ruban to wrap the container. It's really interesting. And then déchirer le cadeau. That's for impatient children. They don't delicately remove the stripe, remove the ribbon, they are striping the gift so that they are frenetically open it to say what's inside, qu'est-ce qu'il y a dedans, dans le cadeau. And so what is your gift today that you are giving to yourself, my friends? Let me know. So I am going now to drink something because my mouth is a bit thirsty. J'ai soif. Thank you for your patience, and after I'm going to eat because I'm hungry. J'ai faim. So that was a surprise for you, cadeau, which is a gift. So we have still probably 50 minutes or less. And this is a surprise this evening in 1 hour and 20 minutes because there will be the party, the jam party of Loes, Loes. Someone living in the Netherlands who speaks Dutch and English. I don't know if she speaks other languages, but it is her birthday. Het is nieuwjarig. I'm still not good at Dutch, by the way, because I still have to remember the pronouns. Het is nieuwjarig. So gelukkig nieuwjarig. It is her birthday. C'è la sua il suo compleanno. C'è il suo compleanno. And so it's her birthday. So it will be a party. So anniversaire, there is the gifts, cadeau, it's a surprise. Also candles, bougies, like 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Or 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. So, to make a wish, faire un vœu. And it's once a year, une fois par an. So, anniversaire, Annie, A-N-L-I, année, in French, year. In English, jaar, in Dutch. And anno, in Italian. Année, year. And so that's it. So now I am going to talk about the day 11, which is il. And it's really interesting because for the first part, I'm going to talk about the sign on top of the I, which is the circumflex accent. So previously, before 1990, the old spelling was ILES with the circumflex accent. And if you were listening to me in the previous days, weeks, or months, you could have noticed that I was talking about the circumflex accent, and normally, most of the time, probably 80-90% of the time, it is to indicate that in old times there was an S, like island. And of course, before I was not pronouncing well English, I would have said Island, like Islande in French is a country name, by the way. Island, Island, Islande. And Isola in Italian. And it's because in the ancient French it was ISLE, I think. And then they removed the L, the S. They were replaced by the circumflex accent. So the circumflex accent is a visible sign to say, hey, in the old times there was an S, like hôpital, H-O circumflex accent P-I-T-A-L, hospital. Hotel, H-O circumflex accent, hostel. Château, C-H-A with the circumflex accent. Castle, Castel in Old French. So that's very interesting for you to know that when there is a circumflex accent, of course you can know after 1990, with the new spelling rules, you can write il without the circumflex accent, just with the I-L-E-S. So both spellings are okay. I-L-E-S with or without the circumflex accent. So you can also write in the small caps this one in the small caps, or this one in the small caps. In the big caps, this one, or this one. So with or without the circumflex accent. So if you are writing il, I-L-E-S, without the circumflex accent, it is accepted, it is okay. Yeah, just to let you know that most of the time you will see I-L-E-S written with the circumflex accent. Even with the spelling reform of 1990, there are still majority of the words written with the circumflex accent. So just to let you know that you can add both or not. The only way, by instance, that you are forced to write the circumflex accent, it's because there might be confusion possible. Because here, mûr, which is mature, or mûr, which is a fruit, the berry, blueberry, blackberry, I don't know, but you have to write it with the circumflex accent. Because mûr, M-U-R, without the circumflex accent is wall, W-A-L-L in English. So in that case, if you are talking about something that is mature, then you have to add the circumflex accent. It's really, really, really important. So, but for il, you are not obliged because there is no confusion possible. There is no another word that is ILS, ILE or ILES that could be confounded. So you can write it with or without. Just to let you know. But now I'm going to talk about the island. And I'm going to share my screen because I was preparing just a little bit about the island. And I am going to share you this. These are, I decided to ask Claude AI, Brave AI to quote me, to list me 20 islands in English with the French translation. So I'm not going to pronounce them in English because you know them, but I'm going to pronounce them in French. So, Groenland, Borneo, Île de Baffin. It's the way I pronounce in French, by the way. A-F-I-N, Baffin. But I know that as it's in English, you can say also Île de Baffin. I would say Île de Baffin because Baffin is it's a name in English. But just so you know that normally I would have pronounced Baffin. So Honshu and Honshu, I don't know this island by the way. Cuba, of course, like Cuba and Cuba in French, Cuba. Île d'Ellesmer, I don't know this island. Bouvet Islands, don't know this one. Mary Bird, Terre Mary Bird. By the way, you notice the different spelling, by the way. Y in English, I in French. So, yeah. and land is terre, by the way. North Andros Island, Île d'Andros. Borden Island, Île Borden. New Guinea, Nouvelle-Guinée. Madagascar, Madagascar, that doesn't change. Sumatra, like Sumatra, Sumatra. Victoria Island, Île Victoria. Hispaniola, Saint-Domingue. So that's really was not knowing the word in English right away. Then there is Sulawesi, same in French. South Georgia and the South, Île Georges du Sud et Sandwich du Sud. So, by the way, in English, sandwich, but in French you can say sandwich or sandwich. So, up to you. Then North Baffin, I was not knowing this island. This one neither. And this one neither, I think. Île d'Andaman. I was not knowing this island. So that's it. But of course, it's really strange with AI, because 20 famous islands. What about Corsica? What about Sardinia? What about Sicilia? So, Corsica, in French, it's Corse. Sicilia, in French, it's Sicile. And then Sardinia, in French, is Sardaigne. So now I'm going to share again my small design. And by the way, even if it's a continent and a country, by the way, it could be an island. Australia, is it an island? I will let you decide. But for me, it's an island also, technically, because it's all around an ocean. So I was covering already amazing words. Let me know what are your thoughts, live or in the replay team. We have still less than, let's say, 20 minutes. I'm going to be quick this time, because 90 minutes is quite a lot. 90 minutes. I'm already there since 52 minutes. I'm going to wrap up. If you have now, it's now or never. So there are still 3 days and 3 words to talk about. Menu, energies, and exclamation point signs, which is a menu, énergie, and point d'exclamation, signe. And about the menu, like, it would be quick because it's, it's in the restaurant. It's a word that could be also something or someone who is thin. Menu. Or really rare, really not so much. Du menu frottin. Very thin. But most of the time it's like about the menu, which is something to eat or something that you have in a program. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a au menu aujourd'hui? Like, what are you doing today? So that's also to say. But most of the time, menu is about the food in the restaurant. In that case, there is the first plate and then the desserts, which is the dessert. I never know in English if it's desserts or dessert, but it's dessert because double S in French. And so there are also soup, potage, bouillon, which is in the first plate. There's also gambas, snails, but I don't like so much these, by the way. And also the little zakuski, like the tapas, the nachos, pinchos, the little tasty tasters, you know. And then there is a main plate like the meat, the fish, la viande, le poisson. Sometimes you have also mussels, les moules, especially in Belgium, in a country near the sea. And yeah, what to say more? But sometimes there are also veggie main dishes. Huh? And of course, main dishes there are also the pasta and the pizza, les pâtes et les pizza. And just like you know, like I don't know in English how you pronounce pizza, but in French it's pizza. And Italian, if you have to say the word in front of an Italian, say with the T, pizza, pizza. You don't say pizza or pizza in front of an Italian. Like it's like, oh, Scaramuccia, c'est sacre bleu, blasphème, saperlipopette. So that's for the main dish. And then the dessert, which is a dessert, could be the, in French, tiramisu. Enfin, no, in French, we are, I love also in the restaurant the tiramisu, it's the Italian dessert. There is also the profiterole, the sabayon, le sabayone. There is also the mousse au chocolat, which is the chocolate foam. I think in English it's chocolate foam or mousse au chocolat. I don't know. And there is for the ice cream like sorbet or glace. And there is also even between the dish and the dessert there is also fromage, cheese. Aside that, I think, and also the digestive that's more like for the drinks. And for the drinks, there is also the digestive, that's for the end. Apéritif, that's for the beginning. Then there is the wine, le vin rouge, vin blanc, vin rosé, champagne at the beginning, champagne. Porto, martini, that's at the beginning. Yeah, and then bière, like water, beer, that's for the drink. And I think it's all. And of course the coffee, café for digest. But I don't drink coffee, especially the evening. I don't like to drink coffee. And of course there is a classical palette of the coffees in Italian, like americano, cappuccino, ristretto, espresso, caffè latte, etc. So that's for the menu. It's a big menu that I gave it to you. So energy. I was not really knowing what to say about that because it's kind of vague, but could be quick because I was thinking also like the different kind of energies, like the fuel is sadly the most toxic energy aside the carbon, by the way, le charbon. There is also the gas, le gaz, and for the other energies like énergie hydraulique, that's for the power of the water, like l'énergie de l'eau, water, hydraulique. Énergie éolienne, that's for the wind, le vent. And there is also the geothermic energy, geothermique. And osmose inversée, I don't know if it's about the water filtration or an energy, but I was thinking about that by the way. But then also the solar energy, énergie solaire. And sadly also it's not really an energy that I like so much because it's really polluting and toxic at the long term, especially if it's not really well processed. But the nuclear energy, l'énergie nucléaire, avec la radioactivité, with the uranium, plutonium, deuterium, I don't know, all the neon by the way. So énergie nucléaire, that's for, you know, I don't want to see other catastrophes than the ones of Chernobyl or Fukushima, by the way. So that's for the energies. So my favorite energies is the energy that I send to you, the energy of my passion to language, by the way. Merci beaucoup, thank you, grazie, teşekkür, dankeschön, taquitos, arigato, obrigado. That's to say to you thank you in multiple languages. So right now we are on the top of the hour. We have still um, probably 20-30 minutes. And we have still the main thing important. I think I can develop this one especially. That will be your nuggets, your cherry on top of the cake, la surprise du chef, le gâteau. That's for the science. So I'm going now to check. List me 30. I'm generous. 30 signs in English, like exclamation point, uh, at commercial, etc. And their translation in English and French. Let's say like that. I don't know if I'm good with the prompt, but I will see. Oh, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So it will be deliciously, edibly, tastefully good for you to have 30 punctuation marks, les signes de ponctuation, in French and in English and in the science. So I'm going to share my screen right now. Abracadabra, hocus pocus. Can you see it? Yes, yes, yes. So you are here for a treat, a retreat. So my friends, I'm really happy because here I'm going to quote them, list them in French. You know them in English. You know how to pronounce them in English and you know them in the sign, but I'm going in French. So, and 8 by 8 and with a break. So, point d'exclamation, point d'interrogation, point, virgule, point virgule, deux points, apostrophe, guillemet double ou double guillemet. So here, point d'exclamation, point d'interrogation. The only thing is that the pronunciation, it's not point, it's point in French. It's not exclamation, exclamation. It's not interrogation or question mark. By the way, it's question mark in English. Point d'interrogation. Then period, point, comma is virgule. Then point virgule, because there is a point, there is a period and there is a comma below. So point virgule, point virgule. Deux points, double dots, which is semicolon, by the way, in English. Colon. That's really interesting. Colon is deux points. And you notice that it is, of course, in plural, because there are deux points. Then apostrophe. Then guillemet double ou double guillemet. And then because there is also the guillemet simple, single, like double quotation marks, single quotation marks, guillemets double, guillemets simple. And you notice that the single quotation mark is absolutely not looking like the apostrophe if you look closely, because the apostrophe is vertical and the single quotation mark is inclined, I think, or I don't know, maybe it's the same, by the way, but we never know. Then there is les parenthèses, which is the round brackets. And I see that because there are also the curly brackets. Parenthèses, I don't know. I will see if they are talking about that. So, guillemets simple, parenthèse, crochet. That's a kind of, that was the square brackets. Les parenthèses carrées, by the way. So, crochet. And then curly brackets, les accolades, accolade. And probably we say that because it's like the accolades when you are hugging someone. It looks like two arms, by the way, accolade. Then there is a tiret, hyphen. Then tiret demi-cadras, tiret cadras. But that's not so much used in French, but it's really important to know the difference between N dash and M dash, and hyphen is not the same. Then there is the slash and the backslash, barre oblique inversé, barre oblique inverse. And then asterisk, asterisk. And then the at sign, arrobas. Sometimes you add E at the end, arrobas. But here I see only the S. So just to let you know, it's the at symbol for the email addresses, by the way. Or for the tag in LinkedIn when you are going to quote someone, to tag someone. Then there is a pound sign, which is dièse. And it's really interesting, by the way, that it's called the pound sign. I was thinking it was like more hash. Then dollar sign, le dollar, le signe dollar. Then percent sign, le pourcentage or le pourcent. And then there is the ampersand, which is the et commercial, literally commercial and. And then the caret, which is a circumflex, by the way. So English is not my first language, my native language. So I was saying circumflex, but in fact it's caret. So I learned with you, my friends. Then there is the tilde in French. Then there is the underscore, the tiret bas. Then the signe égal, equal sign, the signe plus, plus sign, signe moins, minus sign. And as you see, for the different dashes and hyphens, they are different. The hyphen is different than the N dash and the M dash. So I think that there is also the minus sign is different from the three that are above. And then it's really interesting. I was not doing that sign. Is it in at once? No, it's a bit tricky. But sometimes, yeah, it's it's a question with a surprise. I don't know. So exclamation point with question mark, point d'exclamation with point d'interrogation, all together. So you have 30 signs. Probably you have more signs. Like I'm going to share again this one, because here you are in top of that. I was seeing also In fact, this one is the 2x exponent, the power 2, and then there is a power 3, you know. And there is also in my keyboard the paragraph sign. It's the sign that used to say it's about a paragraph, referring about a paragraph. Aside that, there is a CCD, the C sign with a little curly below, which is a CCD, by the way. Cedilla in Spanish. The accent on top of the E, of the A, the minus sign, the underscore sign, and there are also the bigger than. Yeah, there is the bigger than, the lower than, the bigger than, and the caret, the caret is here. What to say more? I don't see other signs, by the way, so all was covered. Slash backslash. Yeah, so I don't see any other sign, by the way. Yeah, all the signs were covered. There is also this one, which is the sterling pound, aside the dollar, and of course the euro. But that's a special sign on that you can add with a keystroke with the E, with euro sign. And aside that, I think it's all, because there are many other signs that I can talk about, but let's stick to it. So I think it's all, my friends. I'm not going to talk more about the session of today. And tomorrow at 1 p.m. my time, which is 7 a.m. EST, I'm welcoming the session with Henry Cameron, only present Henry Cameron, for my 14th day of April, and we will talk about theater and languages and culture and some other things. So with that, my friends, I wish you are fine. Feel free, let me know also, look at the right side, and feel free, if you find value in this session, to buy me a coffee. Scan the QR code or go to ko-fi.com/ollyderix. You see on the screen how it's written, to buy me a coffee, because I am proving so much value in my sessions, and I'm really elevating more and more in my craft. And I'm really blessed to have an amazing audience. I have 5,200 plus followers, which is like a bit more than 100 followers per week on the year. So I'm really blessed. So let me know in the comments how are you feeling, what you would like to receive for value in the next session. And with that, my friends, I'm going to end the stream, because it was a bit late, but I'm going to now have a rest, because 75 minutes is a bit like overloading for me, and I'm just back on track. So see you tomorrow with Henry Cameron, and enjoy and keep shining.